Hello everyone, I am Monica Bhushan and today we are starting lecture number 13 of partial differential equation. So since last three classes we are seeing Lagrange's form of partial differential equation, correct? So by now we are done with the concept of Lagrange's partial differential equation, the solution of partial differential equation by grouping method, by method of multipliers, and last class we had seen the combination method, correct? But today again we are going to see the solution of Lagrange's PDE, but today we are going to take those type of questions where even grouping method will not work, method of multiplier will not work, combination method will also not work. So this type of something we'll call that special question, okay, special form of questions. So these questions we are going to see in today's class, okay. So in today's class we are going to see these two questions, right? So again the method is same only. We will be first understanding that whether this is in the form of PP plus QQ equals R, then only we will be thinking of whether this which method we are going to apply, correct? No. So yes, this is my capital P, capital Q. This Q is already present and then R is there, fine. And when we have the R, we don't have P and Q, fine. So we understood that this form is actually Lagrange's partial differential equation form, fine. Then always we will start with method of grouping. So today also we will be starting with method of grouping, and then we will understand that okay, grouping method will not work, then step by step we'll go for multiplier method and then maybe combination method and all those. So when we have good practice on that, so it won't take time, right? Okay, fine. So we know that we have only three steps to follow, correct? So step number one, we keep on seeing since three classes. Yes, step number one is write down P, Q and R. Now we are in step number two, correct? No. So step number two is what? We have to start with Lagrange's auxiliary equation or Lagrange's subsidiary equation, right? So this Lagrange's auxiliary equation is nothing but the system of equations where we are going to equate three fractions, fine. No, so that means till here we don't have any problem, right? We have seen this in all classes, okay. And after that we know that later what we have to do, the very important step is step number three, which will be integration, correct. And we keep on saying that step number two has the goal to make the step number three easier, that means to make the integration easier. And finally my solution now also will be in the form of phi u comma v equals 0. So in this form we are going to write the answer. Phi is the arbitrary function and u v, we know that they are the answers which we are going to get after step number 3, which we are going to equate with C1 and C2, fine. So these all things we know, fine. So now always the very important step is my step number 2, and by just scanning the fractions we will understand that grouping will work or not work. So it won't take time in your exam. So because now also we can see that in suppose grouping between first and 2 will not work. The reason we know. So here the grouping will not work because this is my dx first fractional part has dx, second fractional part has dy. We should not be having z present, right? Otherwise we won't be able to integrate. The third step will not be possible. And if present, so they should be cancelled out, okay, between these two. But whenever you will see this form of question, okay, some trick you have to apply, that whenever you will see that your p is in this form, I mean y plus z or z plus x or something, I mean if it is plus between them, so you cannot cancel them if they are not exactly same. What I'm saying, suppose it was your dx by yz and then it was your dy by zx, okay. So in that case you could have easily cancelled out this z and then dy and then dx by y, dy by x, you could have done the grouping. How? Because x will go this side and y will go to the right hand side, and then you can easily and then integration will be easier, fine. In this type of questions grouping will not work mostly, okay. So even first and third grouping will not work. The first solution method was grouping, that is not possible here. That means combination method will also not work. To get the second answer between u and v, to get the second answer, you have to think for multiplier method. So here you can see that grouping is not at all going to work. So that means combination method will also not work. Now we are going to try whether multiplier method will work or not. Okay. So in that case, what we had discussed, that means we are going to actually take three multipliers, right? L, M, N, three multipliers. These three multipliers can be constant, can be function of x, y, z. So we will be actually multiplying with numerator and denominator in each fractional terms, and then finally the method says that we are going to have another fractional term, right? And that fractional term will be, we are going to equate with these remaining fractional terms. Fine, that was our multiplier method. And what was the fourth fractional term? It was your L dx plus M dy plus N dz, and then divided by L P, capital P, right? Plus M capital Q plus N capital R. And then we used to equate them with K. Fine. So in that case, we had taken this advantage that if this LP plus MQ plus NR will be 0, then it will be easier to apply the method of multiplier. We will try that here also. Can we apply LP plus MQ plus NR equal 0? If this will be 0, then we will be easily equating the numerator part with 0. That is okay. So this is one way to think. The other way of thinking is, if we see that the fractional terms are in this fashion, so here some trick we have to apply. Okay, and what is that trick? We can say that the denominator part here is y plus z, and the second fractional term contains z plus x. So if I will subtract this first fractional term with the second fractional term, then what will happen? And that approach will also result some more fractional terms, and that fractional term will be equal to these remaining fractional terms. But what is that one? So before that, if I will write down, suppose I am writing down 3 by 6 equals 1 by 2. That is okay. That 3 by 6 is nothing but 1 by 2. That means two fractional terms I have written down. Okay. Now, can I write this as this first numerator minus second numerator? Okay. The other fractional term, which I am going to say that it is going to be equal. That means this 3 minus 1, and then again the denominator also I am writing down the subtraction between the first denominator term minus second denominator term. It will give you how much? It is going to give me 2 divided by 4. And we can say that 2 by 4 is also 1 by 2. Like 3 by 6 is 1 by 2 equals 1 by 2 equals 1 by 2. That means we are going to take help of this property. So same thing we are going to apply here. So when we used to try method of multiplier, the answer was one additional fractional term. Here also we are going to have additional fractional terms. Okay, so here I am going to write, I mean there won't be any problem if I am writing down dx minus dy. I am just taking these two fractional terms. Okay, and the reason why I am taking these two fractional terms, that just now I am going to explain. So it will give you how much? It is going to give me y plus z, and then minus z minus x, z plus x. Fine, no? So these two denominator terms I am subtracting. So it is going to give me dx minus dy divided by z will get cancelled, and it is nothing but y minus x. Okay, so why I have done it? First thing is, this is 100% sure. This is 100% valid that I can write. We have just now seen that this is valid. But why we are writing down in this fashion? Because we know that if we have dx and dy two derivatives in my numerator, okay, so that means I can have the denominator part, or maybe in this complete fractional term, maybe in the numerator also. So it is okay to have x and y both in my fractional term. That means I cannot have this z present here. If any fractional term contains dx and dy both, okay, so you are okay to have relation between x and y both in that fractional term. Similarly, if I will try subtraction between first and third fractional term, so that means the numerator will be having dx minus dz, okay, and this I'm equating with remaining fractional terms, and then denominator will be having y plus z minus x minus y. So that means I have cancelled out y and y. So this is nothing but dx minus dz, and then denominator is z minus x. So again this term is going to be helpful for us. The reason, because one fractional term, if it contains dx also dz also, so you are okay to have the relation between z and x in the same term. So if you had y present in this term, so it was not okay for your third step, correct? No. So this is the concept when what we are going to apply in our today's questions. So how you will understand that, you have to subtract them with some practice. You can take few questions from your textbook, and then you can just think till step number 2 only. Can I use grouping method? Grouping method will be very easy, just by scanning at the equations only you can understand. Multiplier will take little time, that which all multipliers can I use. You can use some different multipliers also in one question, and if they are not working, so that means can you do some subtraction or addition, so that will also work fine, no? And how addition will also work? So if I will write down here, instead of 3 minus 1 6 minus 2, if I will write down 3 plus 1 by 6 plus 2, that means it is nothing but 4 by 8. 4 by 8 is also 1 by 2. So because we are going to take the help of this property, and then we can make our step number 2 much more easier for step number 3 for my integration, correct? No, even I can add all these three fractional terms, and that will also we will going to equate with remaining fractional terms. That means what I'm saying, that here again I can write down dx plus dy plus dz, and then denominator will be how much? Denominator will be your y plus z plus x plus y. That means twice. That means dx plus dy plus dz divided by 2 if I am taking common. So this is nothing but x plus y plus z. So even if we are trying this additional fractional term, that is also okay. The reason why I am saying this is okay, because one term contains dx, dy, dz all three. So you are okay to have the relation between x, y, z all three. So here you won't be having any problem. Okay. Fine. So now we are going to see in the question that how these things are going to be helpful. Same thing we have written down here. So now we are going to try these two new fractional terms together, because we know that they are same. Fine. No. Since what three things had given to us earlier in the question only, with the help of PQR, what these three fractional terms we equated, that fractional term actually we found that not very useful to move further. So we thought that okay, we will add some more fractional terms without violating any property of equation, right? So now we are going to equate these two new fractional terms. That means I'm writing down here that dx minus dy divided by y minus x equal dy minus dz divided by z minus y. And now I'm going to move further using this equation. Okay, so now what that means, till here I am done with my step number 2. I'm going to start my step number 3. How you will understand that you are done with your step number 2? Now you just have to integrate. We have seen in the previous classes, right, that when you will get the equation in this form, you will think that now the integration part will be easier. So you will start writing down just integration in your left hand side also, and in your right hand side also. I can start integrating my left hand side and my right hand side. Fine. So this is nothing but my step number 3. Now I am going to write here dx minus y and then y minus x. So I can write down x minus y and then minus I am taking here just to make it same. Right. Now here the same concept I am going to apply here, and I am going to write dy minus z, and then minus I am taking out, and this is your y minus z. Correct? No? Fine. So now minus minus gets cancelled. and you can say that you are going to substitute t equals x minus y. So it will be what? dt will be what? dx minus y. Correct? No, you can write in this fashion. So similarly here also you can write. So what I am going to write here, this is nothing but dx minus y is dt. Fine, no? And then this is your t. Similarly, here also you are writing down the same thing. I'm just writing down, instead of t, I'm writing down ds by s. Okay, because I'm saying that s is y minus z, same way. So now what I can say? So I know that integration of 1 by t dt will give me how much? It is going to give me log t. Similarly, here it is going to give me log s plus integral coefficient. That means c1 I am going to add. So finally it is going to give you how much? So finally I can write down that this is nothing but log x minus y, and then this is your log y minus z, and then plus c1. Okay, so I can say that this is log x minus y and then minus log y minus z, and the same concept which we are saying, that instead of c1 I will now write down, this is my log c1. The reason of writing down log c1 is what? That I'm going to make the equation simplified manner. C1 is one arbitrary constant. Log C1 will be another arbitrary constant, because I'm not interested in the value of arbitrary constant. I have to keep the nature of arbitrary constant same. So instead of C1 I can write log C1. So here it is what? Property of log I am going to apply. This will be log x minus y divided by y minus z, and this is log C1. So I got, right, my C1 is x minus y divided by y minus z. Okay, and the same C1 I am going to replace with u, the very first solution, very first independent solution of my Lagrange's PDE. So u is x minus y divided by y minus z. We got what is my u, and here if we will see, then we had got u is y minus z by x minus y. I say that this answer is also correct and this answer is also correct. The reason? Because I'm equating u with my arbitrary constant. So any value which I am going to get y minus z by x minus y, it will be some arbitrary constant. Here also I am going to get some other arbitrary constant, correct? No, but they are actually arbitrary constants only. So this answer is also okay and this answer is also okay. The reason of having different answers, because of this minus sign. Here I had cancelled out and here we have not cancelled out. We have taken, because of this, it will go in the left hand side, it will become your positive y minus z. So y minus z by x minus y. But both are okay. Fine. So we got our u. My solution is what? My solution is phi u comma v equals 0. I got my u. Now I am interested in what is my v. So these two things, if I am going to equate, what will happen? The same concept here I am applying, the property of linearity of differential. So I can write down x minus y, and then y minus x can be written as minus x minus y. The same thing right here. There is no problem. What about my right hand side? Same concept if I am applying here. So dx plus dy plus dz can be written as dx plus y plus z. So if I am going to integrate it, so this is 2 is present here. So I am writing down 1 by 2 outside. It is nothing but x plus y plus z. So here not always you have to do this substitution. This I'm just I'm showing you that this way it is okay. You can write down that dt is your nothing but d x plus y plus z. So you can write down 1 by 2. This is your dt by t. Okay, so if you have no any doubt in this substitution, you can directly write down that this is nothing but your log x plus y plus z. So here it is what? This is 1 by 2. Right hand side I am writing down 1 by 2 log t plus, again I am writing down some other constant. This is my c2, and then left hand side was my minus log x minus y. That means I can say that minus, I am writing down here x minus y, and then taking this also into the right hand side. So 1 by 2 log t. T is what? Your x plus y plus z equals c2. Instead of c2 I am writing down log c2. Okay, now what I am writing down, I am just taking this minus common, and then it will be how much? It is your log x minus y, and then plus this is your 1 by 2 log x plus y plus z. Fine. And then this is your log c2. So now I am writing down it here. Okay, so what will happen? You can write down minus as it is, and then this is what? X minus y, and then this is what? Log x plus y plus z to the power 1 by 2. Is that okay? Because multiplying factor is there half. This is again minus, this is log C2, and then you are writing down minus log A plus log B gives you log A into B. Correct? No, log A into B. So this part is, I think, okay. Now I am writing down, this is nothing but, so now what I can say that this minus I have taken here, and then I am taking, and then I can write down x minus y into x plus y plus z to the power half is your C2. Okay, or you can say that minus also you are neglecting. This will be your minus C2. Minus C2 can be replaced with something, suppose C3 or C2 dash or something. That means you can say that your C2 is x minus y, x plus y plus z to the power half, and then finally you can say that this is nothing but your v. Even you can say that minus you don't want to remove, so you will say that this is nothing but minus x plus y. So your v in that case will be minus x plus y, and then x plus y plus z to the power half. So both will be okay. So you got your u also, you got your v also. So this is your answer. Okay, fine. So now we are going to see the other question. So this question also, if you will start trying, first thing is, you know that this is in p plus q plus equals r form, and then step number 1 you have written down here. Okay, and then step number 2, which is the step where you actually have to work, is your step number 2. You know that step number 3 is nothing but you have to actually integrate. Okay now, so integration is there in your step number 3. Step number 2, if we will discuss, so same thing here, we can say that this grouping will not work. Why the grouping will not work? Because the nature of the denominator says that here you cannot do grouping. Because if you will think of making group between these two fractional terms, so z is there, the z part you cannot cancel out. Similarly, if between these two things y, x are there, similarly if you think of here, then you can say that y is present, so you cannot cancel out this y because they are in addition or subtraction. Okay, so fine. So one thing is 100% sure that not a single grouping you can make, so no grouping will work, no combination method will work. We can try the method of multiplier, and then if that also will not work, then we will come to some kind of arrangement, some kind of trick we are going to make with some addition, subtraction between numerator, denominator and all. Okay, so first we will try that whether method of multiplier will work. But here we can see that easily we can make some trick so that it will be easier to integrate, right? And what the trick will be, the same thing. After solving few questions, it will come. Okay, so here I can see that if I'll write down dx plus dy, so what will happen here? X minus y plus y will get cancelled, minus x will get cancelled, minus z. Here that is okay, that I am getting what? Here I am getting x, and x gets cancelled, y gets cancelled, z minus z is there. So if the numerator has dx plus dy, denominator is minus z, so what I said that the integration will not work because it should be free of z. So but it is going to be free of z. How? If I will think of these two grouping now. Okay, that means if I write down dz by z equals dx plus dy by minus z. So this z and this z gets cancelled, and then I can say that dx is what? Dz is what? Dx plus dy. Okay, and then minus is there, so minus somewhere if I'll write down here, and then I'm going to integrate in this fashion also. So finally I got right here, only I got my third step also, my answer also. So minus z is x plus y and then plus c1. So I got my c1 is, so my c1 is minus x minus y minus z, or I can write down minus, I'm taking common, x plus y plus z. So my c1 is minus x plus y plus z. Even I can say that my c1 is x plus y plus z. And the reason, because I'm just saying that now the c1 is maybe something c2, okay, and then c2 is nothing but minus c1. If I'll say minus c1 plus c1, that will still be any arbitrary constant, whether this will be positive arbitrary constant or negative arbitrary constant. But you can say that one arbitrary constant what you have got is x plus y plus z, and this is nothing but your u. Correct? No. So my solution which I am going to get, u comma v equals 0. I mean phi u comma v equals 0, got your u. You got your u as x plus y plus z. Okay, so now you want to know what is your v, and then you are done with this question also. So again, how you will understand that here better to apply this trick, it will definitely come with practice. Fine. So I just want to try that if I will keep all these three dx, dy, dz in one term only. Okay. I don't know whether it will be plus or minus. I'm just writing down dx, dy, dz. So for that, what I can do? So if suppose I'm saying that x minus y, and then I did my addition part, so it was my minus z plus z will become 0. So that will also work is in your multiplier method. But what if I'll try some kind of trick? What if I'll do some addition subtraction? So maybe if I'll write down this minus, okay, so minus y plus x plus z. I mean, what I'm doing here, dx minus dy, if I'll write down like this. And then if I'll write down here plus, because if I write down minus z, z will get cancelled. If I'll write down plus z, suppose I'm writing down plus z. So what will happen here? 2x minus 2y plus 2z. Okay, so one way you can think of just addition of these three things. Okay, that means multiplier will also work, but here, so maybe I'll write down in this fashion, then we'll see that whether we are going to get answer. So 2 I'm just taking common, this is your x minus y plus z. Okay, fine. So in that case, again, this I'm going to use the linearity property, and I can write down this only. I can write down d x minus y plus z. This is same as dx minus dy plus dz. Okay, and the denominator is 2x minus y plus z. And then I'll group with what? I'll group with this dz by z. This is the easiest term. So dz by z I'll group with. So what will happen? Now my step number 3 I'm writing down here, correct? No, step number 3 is what? I'm going to integrate both places. So it will be what? This is your 1 by 2 I'm taking common. So you know that this is nothing but dt by t, correct? Where t is x minus y plus z, and here this is straightforward. This is your log z plus c2 I'm writing down. So again, this is dt by t is nothing but log t, and this is 1 by 2 is already present here, and here it is your log z plus c2. Okay, now what I'm writing down here, log z I'm taking into the left hand side, so it is your half log t minus log z equals c2. So I'm writing down log c2 to make the equation simplified. Instead of half log t, I'm now going to write down this is your log t to the power half minus log z equals log c2. Then I'm going to apply the property of log. So this is log t to the power half divided by z equals c2, I mean log c2. So t is my x minus y plus z to the power half divided by z is my c2, and I'll say that this is my v. So I got my v also, correct? No, so we just check that what we have done. So u is x plus y plus z, that is okay. And what about v? Yeah, v is also the same thing, correct? So we got the answer. So in this fashion also we can think of, and in few questions you won't be able to apply even the method of multiplier, then you have to use this kind of trick. If both sides we will square out, so what will happen? It will be your z square by x minus y plus z. Okay, and again this c2 square only you are going to say that this is your v. Why? Because c2 square will again some other arbitrary constant, and you are just interested in the arbitrary constant only, that you are going to equate with v. So v you can write z square by x minus y plus z. Even you could have written down that this is your answer, that is also okay. Fine. So this answer is also okay. Okay, fine. So if you find this class useful, please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.